We will focus on Ramadan second phase and its bounties, exploring the spiritual significance of the period and practical ways Muslims can maximize Allah's mercy with insight from Sokoto-based Islamic scholar. But first, we begin with the latest updates on news segment, bringing you key stories from across the country. Welcome to Panorama from Sokoto Network Center. I am Sadia Umardiki. The Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria has issued a travel advisory due to ongoing airspace closures in parts of the Middle East, affecting flights to and from the region. According to FAN, flights scheduled to Middle East destination from Nigerian airports, including Emirates and Qatar Airways, have been cancelled or delayed. Passengers are advised to contact their airlines for updates on flight status and rebooking options. They are also advised to confirm their flight status before heading to the airport. FAN is monitoring the situation with relevant aviation authorities and will provide updates as necessary. The authority apologizes for the inconveniences and appreciates travelers' understanding and cooperation. Nigerian delegation led by the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, participated in the second International Conference on Agrarian Reform and Rural Development in Columbus. The meeting brought together governments and international organizations to strengthen global dialogue on access to land and for agricultural purposes and rural development. The discussion focused on water, food and well-being, land for life, as well as land, water and drought-proof agrarian reform. The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, alongside the Executive Secretary of the National Agricultural Land Development Authority, Cornelius Oluwasegun Adebayo, discussed and highlighted the reforms being implemented in Nigeria in land management and conversion for agricultural development. These include land clearing, soil testing and water management through irrigation under the Renewed Hope policy and programs. As part of efforts to promote civil-military cooperation, the Nigerian Navy has inaugurated a naval healthcare center built at Emisu Omafo Agbakwa, Nwaku East local government area in Enugu State. Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Idi Abbas, at the inauguration, commended the state government for equipping the health facility. The report.
The Chief of the Naval Staff, represented by the Director of Veterans Affairs, Rahim Tuafik, said the Special Quick Impact Projects initiated by former Chief of Naval Staff Emmanuel Ogala is aimed at fostering civil-military cooperation by delivering critical infrastructure where senior officers originate.
Let me also seize this opportunity to urge the beneficiaries to please use the facilities responsibly as I solicit for the cooperation and synergy of the good people of Enugu at all levels of government.
We have to ensure that we provide access through health care insurance. Already, the federal government and state government are working hand in hand to provide these services at no cost for the very poor and vulnerable.
In less than 1 year, we started this project. We have concluded it. Already it is staffed by the state government. It is equipped and it is already functional. So this is an epoch moment in the life of our people here in Umisu and Mafuboka.
The Health Center project was initiated by Rear Admiral Patrick Nwato in memory of his late father.
The federal government has flagged off a nationwide cancer awareness and free screening program in Ebonyi State, targeting 1,000 persons to be drawn from 5 states in the southeast and other neighboring states. Samuel Akpo reports that the initiative attracted health practitioners from across the country, including the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Health and Social Development, Daju Kakolu. Moving on, fire at Nurul. Emergency response has put a fire at Nurul Haq Islamic School, Birnin Kebbi, under control. Kebbi State Governor Nasir Idris supervised the evacuation of 142 pupils and students of the school, which was razed down. Reports from Birnin Kebbi says no casualties were recorded due to the prompt action taken to evacuate those in the school. Abdul Muhammad Bawa has details.
The incident, which occurred while academic activities were ongoing, saw parts of the school building engulfed in flames, forcing emergency evacuation procedures to be activated. Governor Nasir Idris, who witnessed the incident while passing by, personally supervised the evacuation and ensured that all the students were safely moved away from the affected structure. The governor commended security operatives, particularly the Nigerian police force, for maintaining order and safeguarding students during the emergency. He also praised the prompt intervention of the Kebbi State Fire Service for containing the blaze and preventing further damage.
Unfortunately, that the whole school, they have food cylinders. I don't know what they are doing with cylinders. And that is why it took the fire service almost 3-4 hours to quench the fire. It was a very unfortunate, but we thank God that no life is lost.
Governor Idris urged residents to remain calm as authorities commence investigations into the cause of the fire, promising measures to prevent similar occurrences. In Birnin Kebbi, Abdul Muhammad Bawa, NTA News.
Nasarawa State for civil servants to address accommodation challenges and bridge housing deficit. Governor Abdullahi Sule flagged off the construction in Lafia, assuring timely completion of the project. Balkisu Umar Kurgu reports.
The housing scheme, tagged Affordable Housing for Civil Servants, provides access for state workers to own decent accommodation. 430 affordable houses are to be built, targeting low-income civil servants as the beneficiaries. At the groundbreaking for the construction of the houses in Lafia, Governor Abdullahi Sule says the scheme is apt with the continuous increase on house rent and in line with the vision of his administration to provide shelter for civil servants.
This is necessary, believing that housing is not just a shelter, but dignity, stability, and family security. It is also an asset that builds intergenerational wealth and strengthens communities.
An initiative deliberately designed to ensure that Nigerian workers who faithfully contribute to the National Housing Fund can finally become homeowners.
Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria is partnering with the state government in the implementation of the housing scheme. In Lafia, Bilkisu Umar Gurku, NTA News.
I will continue shortly after this break. Do stay with us. Sokoto State Government has reaffirmed its commitment to supporting vulnerable groups in the society with the distribution of Salah materials and cash assistance to persons with disabilities. The presentation ceremony held at the Sokoto Youth Center comes just days after the beneficiaries received food items under a similar intervention by the state government. Asma Habibu Shagari has details.
Persons with disabilities in Sokoto continue to benefit from series of social support programs introduced by the state government. In the latest intervention, the government procured 6,700 brocade and wrapper materials for distribution to beneficiaries across the 23 local government areas. Under the arrangement, each male beneficiary receives a bundle of brocade material and 5,000 naira cash token for sewing, while each female beneficiary is presented with a bundle of wrapper material along with the same cash support.
Well, it is one of the tremendous gestures
of this present administration.
Some beneficiaries expressed appreciation to the state government for what they described as a thoughtful gesture, noting that it demonstrates concern for their welfare and inclusion in governance.
We want to use the opportunity to thank this administration. Since ever it come to power, it has been doing marvelously well to improve the welfare of people with disability.
The intervention is expected to ease preparations for the forthcoming Salah celebrations. In Sokoto, Asmao Habibu Shagari, NTA News.
As Muslims begin the second 10 days of sacred fast of Ramadan, Islamic scholars in Sokoto have urged the faithful to maximize the month's immense spiritual rewards, describing it as a session of mercy, forgiveness, and multiple blessings. Beyond abstaining from food and drink, Ramadan is a period for intensified prayer, recitation of the glorious Quran, giving out charity, acts of kindness, tolerance, and moral discipline. Abdullahi Umar Ilalu has details.
Ramadan is a month of spiritual renewal, patience, and compassion, highlighting the importance of faith, self-discipline, and care for others. In their separate Ramadan messages, Islamic clerics in Sokoto called on worshippers to use the month to strengthen their devotion, seek forgiveness, and engage in charitable acts. They emphasize good conduct and concern for the less privileged.
Whatever good you do in Ramadan, whether in the daytime or in the night time, it is multiplied, maybe to 100, to 700, to 1,000, depending on your relationship with Almighty Allah.
If you are fasting and then you give something, you share what you have with another person, it means you are getting double reward, your own reward and the reward of that person, without taking away anything from his reward.
On the economic front, trader unions have appealed for government support to subsidize essential goods, aiming to ease the burden on vulnerable families during the holy month.
Mun yi abin da ya kamata wajen gyara farashi a kasuwa da kingan abubuwa. Muna gode ma Allah da ni'imomin da ya muna. Kowa ya san shekarar da ta wuce an samu canji mai yawa a wajen kayan masarufi da kingin su.
Ko mun tana da kaya kuma da ikon Allah kaya za su yi sauki sosai yadda la baka tutu. Inshallah.
The Sokoto state government has on its part expended more than 1 billion naira for 170 Ramadan feeding centers across the state to support vulnerable groups in the society during the Ramadan period. Muslims in Sokoto are turning faith into action, dedicating themselves to reflection, charity, and the spiritual blessings of the month. In Sokoto, Abdullah Omar Ilalu, NTA News.
And to further discuss on the second 10 days of Ramadan, I have with me in the studio Abdurrahman Sani from the Imam Malik Islamic Foundation. Sir, you're welcome to Panorama Studios.
Welcome.
All right, so Ramadan, as we enter the second phase of Ramadan, what specific acts of worship should Muslims focus on for spiritual bounties?
Alhamdulillah, wahda salatu wassalamu ala man la nabiyya ba'da, rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. There is an association between Ramadan and the Quran. Ramadan is known as the month of the Quran. Ramadan is one of the obligatory fasts that Muslims do, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kutiba alaykumus siyamu kama kutiba alal ladhina min qablikum. That fasting has been prescribed for you the way it was prescribed for those who came before you. So one of the most important acts of worship for Muslims to do during the month of Ramadan is to re-establish their relationship with the Quran. This can be in two fronts. Number one could be by reading the Quran, reciting the Quran, having a daily portion of a recitation of the Quran. Then number two is trying to understand the meaning of the Quran. There are chapters and verses that we recite daily. It's very important that our worship does not become ritualistic and monotonous. So this is an opportunity for us to learn the meaning of the verses that we recite daily. Like, for example, the opening Surah Al-Fatiha. This is a golden opportunity for us to learn the explanation, the tafsir, the meaning of Surah Al-Fatiha, Surah Al-Ikhlas, and all of these fundamental chapters of the Quran. And also, as established in a tradition, Angel Gabriel used to come to the Prophet ﷺ during the month of Ramadan to review the Quran. This also further strengthens the fact that Ramadan is a month of the Quran. So I think the most important act for us to do in the month of Ramadan is to re-establish our connection with the Quran and also be cognizant of our speech and be kind, less embrace the spirit of Ramadan in our day-to-day activities.
Mashallah. So this second phase is known as the phase of forgiveness. How can Muslims best maximize that forgiveness or mercy from the Lord? Okay, this alludes to a popular narration, popular tradition which says about the month of Ramadan that awwaluhu rahma, its beginning is mercy, وأوسطه مغفرة, and its middle is forgiveness, وآخره, and its end is being free from the hellfire. وآخره إتق من النار. Although this is not an authentic tradition, but its meaning is sound, the way to look at it is that all of Ramadan is mercy, and all of Ramadan is forgiveness, and all of Ramadan is escaping from the hellfire. There is an authentic tradition from the Prophet ﷺ where he says, "Man qama Ramadan imanan wa ihtisaba ghufira lahu ma taqaddama min dhanbihi." That anyone who fasts Ramadan with faith and sincerity, then all of his sins will be forgiven. So as I preface in the beginning, re-establish your relationship with the Quran, do charity as established in the tradition in Sunan Tirmizi, that if you feed a fasting person, you're going to have the equivalent reward of the fasting person without he losing his reward. So the actions are you read the Quran, also you do a lot of charity, and also strive for social integration. Your relationship with people is an opportunity. Ramadan is an opportunity for us to improve on that front. All right. So what responsibilities do wealthy individuals have in this phase regarding zakat, sadaqah, and care for the underprivileged?
So zakah is one of the obligations of every Muslim, every wealthy Muslim who has the means. Zakat is obligatory for him. Zakat is an obligatory charity. Some people call zakat tax, but zakat is not tax. It's an obligatory charity, because tax, if there are no tax authorities, people don't give tax. But this is an individual responsibility. Whether there are tax authorities, whether there are no authorities, everyone has the moral responsibility to give zakah. So the primary obligation is the zakah. Then also giving out in charity, as I said initially. Then also there's one type of zakah which is compulsory upon every Muslim, which is zakatul fitr, which is given at the end of the month of Ramadan, so to serve as a purification for the minor sins that we engage in during the month of Ramadan. We give out the equivalent of 3 kg. Sa, it's known as sa, which is arba'atu amdad. Mud is when you fill your hands with grains. So you give a 3 kg of food. You can give it even a day or 2 days before, or the day of Eid. So these are some of the obligations that wealthy Muslims should make sure that they attend to.
All right. So as individuals, how can individuals contribute meaningfully to their communities to earn lasting reward in this Ramadan?
Doing communal work for one. And secondly, also I want to emphasize a lot about social inclusion, social integration. There's a narration about one of the companions of the Prophet ﷺ who was blind. He sought for a special permission not to go to the masjid because he's blind. But the Prophet ﷺ told him, provided that you can hear the call to prayer, you must go to the masjid. So this also shows the importance of social integration, because there are certain people that are socially isolated, which also contributes to a lot of mental health issues. And also there are brothers and sisters that are in the IDPs. Even we can give out the little that we can have. Sometimes the primary thing that prevents us from doing anything is that we think of grand gestures. Maybe I don't have this amount of money. No, you can do with the very little that you have.
All right, so as we progress into the second phase, what advice or message do you have for Muslims across Sokoto and Nigeria at large?
I think the one fundamental lesson, because one of the most important lessons that we learn in Ramadan is living through the situation of others. A lot of us have, food is not a problem for many people, but during fasting period, you are deprived of that. So being that you have been in the shoes of people is left for you, let not Ramadan just be a ritual act of worship for you. You learn the lessons and you take them outside Ramadan. In some countries, they have what they call food banks or community kitchens. This idea of Ramadan feeding, so they do it constantly all over there. It doesn't have to be limited to Ramadan.
All right. Thank you very much for coming on Panorama this afternoon.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
All right. That was a discussion with Abdurrahman Sani from the Imam Malik Islamic Foundation. And now moving on. The operatives of National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Sokoto State Command, has recorded major breakthrough in the fight against drug trafficking, intercepting 47 bags of cannabis sativa and arresting a suspect at the Tamaji area of Sokoto in connection with the crime. The State Commandant Mustafa Muhammad Gidad will disclose this while briefing journalists on the command's recent anti-drug operations. Elatu Abdullahi reports.
Aside the cannabis sativa, other illicit substances recovered were quantities of methamphetamine, popularly known as ice, intercepted during an operation. Suspects arrested in connection with the seizures are currently in custody and will be charged to court upon the completion of investigations. The operation is part of intensified efforts to prevent traffickers from using the state as a transit route for illegal drugs. Similarly, more than 182 cartons of codeine syrup were intercepted in a separate operation, further underscoring the agency's commitment to curbing drug abuse and illicit trafficking. In addition to the earlier seizures made, investigations are ongoing to track down other suspects and the sources of the illicit substances. The command reaffirmed its resolve to sustain surveillance, intelligence gathering, and public sensitization to protect communities from the dangers of illicit drugs. The NDLEA commander called on the public and the sister agencies to continue supporting the command with vital information on drug dealings and trafficking within the state.
If this one is not interdicted, for sure it is going to be in the public. And this thing, we are not going to see it again. People are going to use it. And only God knows how many people are going to be affected by this substances that we have arrested today.
Appeal to the Sokoto state government and other stakeholders to sustain their support to enable the command discharge its duties effectively in safeguarding lives and property across the state. In Sokoto, Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
And now let's join the sports desk for latest in the world of sports.
Cameroon's indomitable Lioness struck in stoppage time to seal a 1-0 victory over Nigerian Super Falcons in the first of their two scheduled international friendly in Yaoundé on Saturday. A dramatic 90 minutes goal proved decisive in a closely fought contest that looked destined to end in a draw. The fixture formed part of both sides' preparation for the 2026 Women's African Cup of Nations in Morocco as the teams continue to fine-tune tactics and evaluate squad depth ahead of the continental tournament. Nigerian, drawn in Group C alongside Zambia, Egypt and Malawi, will be aiming for a stronger response when the two sides meet again in Tuesday's second friendly. 7 matches are scheduled across various centers as match day 28 of the Nigerian Premier Football League takes center stage. Bayelsa United will face Rivers United. Bender Insurance welcome Ikorodu City, while Enyimba go up against Kwara United. Niger Tornadoes will battle Warri Wolves as relegation threatens Raymond Stars. Lock-ons with Katsina United. In English football, 4 matches will be decided on Sunday in the Premier League. Brighton hosts Nottingham Forest at the Amex Stadium. Fulham take on Tottenham Hotspur, while rejuvenated Manchester United welcome Crystal Palace at Old Trafford. The standard clash of the weekend see tabletopper Arsenal face Chelsea at the Emirates Stadium. Meanwhile, in Saturday's result, Liverpool recorded the biggest win of the rounds with a 5-2 victory over West Ham. Everton defeated Newcastle at home 3-2. Brentford edged Burnley 4-3. And second place, Manchester City narrowly beat Leeds United 1-0. And finally, to tennis, as Daniel Medvedev admitted, it was not how he wanted to win after claiming a second Dubai Tennis Championship title when Tylon Grespel withdrew from the final due to injury. Grespel sustained a left hamstring injury during the hard-fought 7-5-7-6 semi-final victory over Andrei Rublev on Friday. Tournament organizer confirmed on Saturday that the Dutchman was deemed unfit to play following a medical assessment handing Medvedev the title. The former world number 1, who did not drop a set throughout the competition, has now secured 2 titles this year and 3 in the last 4 months. With Sports Update, Oche Ngberi, NTA Sports.
On Panorama this afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I am Sadia Umurdigi, wishing you a blessed Ramadan and a blessed day.